Welcome back to Euro Football Daily for this week's Euro Transfer Talk. After a crazy 7 days in the world of football, things are starting to settle down a little bit now. But as ever, we're here to bring you all the latest news and gossip from across the continent. Let's get into it. We start in Italy with Romelu Lukaku. The Belgian striker is having the time of his life at Inter Milan, having scored 61 goals across all competitions since his €80 million move to the San Siro ahead of the 2019-20 season. This is comfortably his best 2-season spell in his career, eclipsing the 53 goals he netted between 2016 and 2018 for Everton and Man United. It's easy to forget that Lukaku is still only 27 years old, so all the signs point towards the Anderlecht youth product continuing on this trajectory for a few more years yet. A far cry from his United days, he is now very much one of Europe's top strikers, with his 21 league goals behind just Cristiano Ronaldo in Serie A, while just 5 other players, Lewandowski, Haaland, Mbappe, Messi and Andre Silva, can top his record across the top 5 leagues. So it's no surprise that despite playing for a side on the verge of winning Serie A, Lukaku is wanted by one of Europe's richest sides. However, the exact side may come as somewhat of a shock. Chelsea are scouring the market for a true goalscorer, with Werner not having the expected impact, Giroud on his way out, and Abraham seemingly not favoured by Thomas Tuchel. According to Bild, the two names at the top of the Blues shortlist are Erling Haaland and Lukaku. And whilst it's very much an uphill battle to sign Haaland, the world's most in-demand footballer right now, it's believed that Lukaku could be prized away from Inter Milan. Of course, Lukaku was previously on the books at Chelsea, having been signed for Andre Villas-Boas' side in 2011, but failed to score in 15 appearances across all competitions for the London side. Of course, he shone on loan, first finding the net 17 times for West Brom in 2012-13, before 15 goals the following campaign for Everton, earning himself a £28 million move to the Toffees in the summer of 2014. But now he could be returning to the Premier League with a chip on his shoulder after 2 years spent at Old Trafford. It's hard to estimate how much Lukaku, who's also Belgium's record goalscorer, could cost Chelsea. Inter are in somewhat of a financial crisis, with club owners as recently as February seeking €150 million in emergency financing. But currently valued at 70 to 90 by the Football Observatory, any potential discount on that could be a bargain should Lukaku replicate his Italian form back in England. But we want to know what you think. Is Lukaku the answer to Chelsea's problems up top, or would you continue to back Werner? Let us know in the comments below. And in more Chelsea transfer news, it appears that Tuchel's side are now the frontrunners for Raphael Varane's signature this summer. Varane, who has been a Real Madrid player since 2011, sees his current deal expire at the Bernabeu in 2022. And the two sides are some way off agreeing any extension as it stands. And whilst Florentino Perez has been spouting a lot of nonsense over the last week, you can say that again, he did suggest that the Frenchman, who turned 28 on Sunday, could be on the way out, telling Spanish radio show El Laguerrero if players don't want to stay at Madrid, they can leave, when specifically asked about his current number 5. Having now been at the club for a decade, making over 350 appearances and winning 3 La Ligas and 4 Champions Leagues, it was suggested that Varane was next in line for the captaincy at Real should he sign on beyond 2022. But such a prestigious role doesn't seem to be swaying the World Cup winner, and as it stands, any potential suitors will have a free run at him in 12 months' time. That is, of course, if Perez doesn't sell Varane this summer, which is looking increasingly likely. And Chelsea are willing to splash out to the tune of £60 million in order to secure his services, whilst Man United and PSG were hoping to wait until next January to sign him on a free. And Thomas Tuchel is going to get a good look at him tonight as Chelsea take on Real Madrid in the Champions League semi-finals. Another name on Tuchel's shortlist at centre-back is Bayern Munich's Niklas Süle. The 25-year-old may have struggled with injuries in recent years and is currently sidelined with a thigh injury, but is still regarded as an elite defender in the Bundesliga. According to the Football Observatory, Süle could be half the price of Varane, although the German's injury record is something to be wary of. But who do you think would be the better fit at Stamford Bridge, Süle or Varane? Let us know down below. We have some breaking news now, because Bayern Munich have announced just this morning that 33-year-old former RB Leipzig boss Julian Nagelsmann will be their new manager, starting on the 1st of July. Herbert Hainer, Bayern's president, was quoted as saying, "We are convinced that with Julian Nagelsmann we can continue the magnificent successes of recent years. And we believe Hainer might just be right." After having his playing career cut short by a knee injury, Nagelsmann joined Hoffenheim's academy at just 21. After winning the title there with their under-19s, he was appointed to the senior role in October 2015 with the club in the relegation zone. He steered them to safety and 2 Champions League finishes in the next 3 years before joining RB Leipzig. He led Die Bullen to 3rd in 2019-20 and an unlikely Champions League semi-final on just their 2nd appearance in the competition. And this year he has a great chance of winning the club's first top-level silverware with a Pokal semi-final coming up against Werder Bremen on Friday. With RB Leipzig having reportedly demanded €25 million to release him from his contract, which still had 2 years left to run, we are waiting for confirmation about whether this is the most expensive managerial appointment of all time. As for Leipzig, having lost Timo Werner, Nagelsmann and sporting director Markus Krösche in the last 12 months, they have another rebuilding job on their hands for their next manager. With Bayern, Leipzig, Dortmund, Gladbach, Eintracht and Leverkusen under new management next term, the Bundesliga promises to be intriguing, although perhaps a little predictable in terms of the overall winner. To Italy next, and a further update on the future of Gianluigi Donnarumma. With his contract still set to expire in a matter of weeks, time is running out for Milan to secure their number one's long-term future. With the Rossoneri almost certain that the 22-year-old will be leaving the San Siro this summer, but that doesn't mean they've given up the fight quite yet. The club have given Donnarumma a deadline to make his decision, or he might face the current contract offer on the table being revoked. The date in question is the 23rd of May, the final day of the Serie A campaign, as Stefano Pioli's side face Atalanta in what is likely to be a battle for a Champions League place. Milan have no intention on increasing their offer for Donnarumma, which currently stands at around €8 million a year, a third higher than his current deal that sees him rake in just over €100,000 a week. This is, however, far lower than Mino Raiola's demands for his client, with the super agent reportedly asking for around €12 million for Donnarumma to stay put. Juventus are currently in pole position to sign Italy's youngest ever international player, although they too fall short of Raiola's asking price. Fabio Paratici and co do remain confident that an offer of around €10 million could be enough to entice Donnarumma to Turin, but only time will tell. Fearing the worst though, Milan have made moves to secure a replacement for their goalkeeping prodigy. According to Sport 1, Lille stopper Mike Maignan has agreed a 5-year deal with the Rossoneri after Les Dogs accepted a €15 million bid for the French international. The 25-year-old has kept 18 clean sheets for Lille in Ligue 1 this campaign, and has been one of the key performers as this side find themselves top of the table, leading PSG by a single point with just 4 games remaining. If Donnarumma does go, Maignan is a very good replacement. We end this week's episode with the fallout from the failed Super League launch just over a week ago. After fans rallied against the owners of the clubs responsible for this endeavour, questions have been raised about the intentions of those in charge. Over the weekend it emerged that Spotify founder Daniel Ek was interested in buying Arsenal, and another member of the Premier League's Big Six could also be on the market as a direct consequence of last week's ESL shortcomings. The Glazers have always had a rocky relationship with the Man United fans since their £800 million purchase of the club in the summer of 2005. This once more reared its head in the past 7 days, culminating in the public apology made by co-chairman Joel Glazer. But that hasn't stopped the calls for them to sell the club, and the family aren't exactly shutting down those talks. Despite Joel and co-chairman brother Avram refusing to even consider any potential sale, they now value Man United at $4 billion, 5 times what they paid for it almost 16 years ago. And when confronted by reporters a few days ago, Avram refused to deny they could sell up. If the Glazers were to receive an offer of $4 billion, that would make the club the 9th most valuable sports team in the world, on a par with Barcelona. That's almost $1.5 billion more than the next most valuable Premier League side Man City, and double what current Super Bowl champions the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are worth, an NFL franchise owned by the Glazer family since 1995. Now of course any sale of Man United is a long way off, but arguably the family are as unpopular now as they have ever been with the fans, and it's hard to see how they recover from last week's events. So if anyone had been eyeing up this possibility, now could be the time to make a move. So guys, that was Euro transfer talk for another week. What did you guys think of the stories? We had some transfers in there, we had some ownership sales. What an episode, I thought it was a cracker. Let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed the episode, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you next time.